Okay, we're going to be talking about smartphones, so it can be used on campus or outside the classroom, anywhere. It's pervasive. Mobile computing happens all around us. We can do it from anywhere we can get phone reception or an internet connection. So let's go to the definition of smartphone in the Webster Dictionary. A cell phone that includes additional software functions. It's rather general, but thinking about email or internet browser, those are obviously additional software functions. So digging a little deeper, going a little closer to what we're getting at, we look at PC Mag's definition of a smartphone, and we see that run applications. In addition to their built-in functions, like I said, they run a myriad of free or paid applications. A lot of them we talked about the freemium. You get the free cloudware, like Google Drive's on there. We'll talk about that later. Let's look at a quick history of mobile technology. See that mobile technology has its roots in cell phone or phone service. And mobile devices are becoming the primary tool for students, faculty, and staff to communicate through voice, text messaging, email, chat, and so like we do Blackboard in class, which I'll also get to in the later in the presentation. But yeah, we see Zach Morris here. He's looking pretty cool with his Zach Morris cell phone. We all know what that is, the big bulky cell phone. And we go to now and we see Zoolander making reference to how small cell phones have gotten, and to be the hip, cool person, you got to have the small one, or at least at one point in time that seemed to be true. Now we're getting to smartphones, so you have to have the most advanced phones. So mobile devices obviously are becoming a primary tool for students, faculty, and staff to communicate through voice, text messaging, email, and chat. And moving on, they can run apps, record audio, video, like I said, functionalities that can easily be channeled into the classroom inquiry, which is important because these features need to be able to be applied in the classroom. I mean, we all love going on Facebook, but we also need to do things on mobile devices that are productive, and especially when we're in the classroom, we can't be unproductive. It's not the idea. So, looking at kind of the old way of looking things, cell phones in use may interrupt learning. That was kind of thought to be the paradigm of most teachers, administrators, etc. Any sight of a cell phone or anything it's all interrupting learning, not very useful in that regard. But now we're moving toward a more progressive view. Caution, cell phones use may enhance learning. Now that's kind of what we're getting at. We're looking at technology and mobile devices as an enhancement to learning, not an interruption to learning. So, a little statistic here. According to a 2011 Pew Internet Project Teen Survey, 77% of 12 to 17-year-olds have cell phones, not smartphones, but cell phones in general. That includes smartphones. That's a major jump from 45% in 2004. So you can imagine more and more people have smartphones as they become more popular, and people are, acquiring mobile technology and devices as we move forward into the future. Now, as teachers, what do we view? We view as mobile technology as a distraction or an enhancement. The old way, going back to the interrupting kind of view of things, it could be an advanced note passing contraption or daydream facilitating machine. That's kind of the old way of thinking of things. This is kind of the image that a lot of teachers have in what a student and a cell phone in a classroom looks like. But if we want to take it and to enhance our learning, you can see here there's a lot more of a collaborative effort. Hopefully they're looking at something educational. We want to take advantage of their ability to engage students in a classroom setting. We want to take advantage of the cell phone's ability to engage students because they use it so much in their outside of school life. Hopefully we can get them to use it in school for productive purposes. Now ideally you'd have the district and the school provide all this technology and tightly control how it's used and use it for educational purposes, but in places that don't have funding for that, there's a movement called the Bring Your Own Technology. So students, you bring in your own cell to school, or hopefully maybe you can get one provided for you in some sort of program, but the idea is to democratize education, bring it to the people as quickly and efficiently as possible. The cons to that, saying that it perpetuates inequality, meaning if the district can't afford all that stuff, what makes you think the students can? So it's a problem that needs solving, and hopefully, we can move forward and solve it as educators. Okay, education apps. Apps specifically used for education. This is actually a screenshot of my my mobile device, my iPhone. You see I have a Dropbox, Blackboard, WordPress, Khan Academy, the University of Laverne, etc. Now, Khan Academy is interesting. It's a online kind of school in a way. He teaches these online lessons and videos. He screencasts videos, much like I am now. And here's a shot of him teaching, this guy Khan. He's teaching about the French Revolution. He has pictures, and he writes throughout the lesson. So he writes these notes throughout the lesson. You see him writing it. It's really a cool thing. And then our school, the University of Laverne, they have a library app, which you see here, and they also have a My Laverne app, which you guys are familiar with, the My Laverne system. Their apps are available for Apple, iOS, and Android. They say that they're going to have for Windows Phone and BlackBerry in the future. So yeah, look out for that if you guys have different technology. And now in education, the cloud. We talked about the cloud. You can use apps such as Google Drive or Dropbox to store files. Here's screenshots of mine. I have all my classes organized in my Drive, and I can access them anywhere, inside the classroom, outside the classroom, as long as I have access to reception or wireless fidelity access, then I can do that. And Blackboard, you guys again are familiar with that. Online interface. It's a tool that allows faculty to add resources for students to access online. We can have discussions like we do blogs. I mean, you guys know all about that. It's a really cool thing. And actually, now a lot of schools are kind of dropping Blackboard and creating their own online interface that's a lot more agile, and it can be adapted a lot better to their specific institution. Now, this is done with institutions where they have the resources to do that. But Blackboard also, it's a great thing for institutions that aren't just the Harvards of the world with our billion-dollar endowments. So, what does the future look like? Well, future, according to experts, say the answer isn't to ban these devices altogether or postpone forming a policy on them, but to take advantage of their ability to engage students in the classroom setting. We've got to meet the students where they are, what they're doing, grab them at that point, and then lead them to where they need to be. That's on our job as educators. And here's a little parting quote by Winston Churchill. See, he's a very good-looking man. The civilizations of tomorrow are built in the young minds of today. I thought that was a really interesting quote. He was talking to a class of British school children, all the destruction that happened from World War II, and he basically was hinting at the kids, look, you guys are going to be the ones to build tomorrow. I'm old, I helped fight this battle, but I'm not going to be the one to build the future, and the young people are the ones to do it. So it's incumbent upon us as educators to meet the young people where they're at instead of trying to, browbeat them into not using their phones and, jumping into a textbook. So that is my presentation on mobile technology in the classroom, specifically regarding smartphones, and hope you liked it.